Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. I realize that it's been a while since I've done a beaded ring video, so for this tutorial I'm going to show you how to make the matching ring that goes along with the Alluring Rivoli pendant. If you have not seen the video for these beautiful pendants, I will leave a link for it down there in the description bar so you can watch it and make these beautiful pendants. So here is what the rings look like. I really love them. They are extremely gorgeous, and I would say that to date they are my favorite Superduo ring that I've made so far. Here's what they look like from the top. They're not a tall ring, so that makes them really comfortable to wear. And here's what they look like from the side and from the back. They're really beautiful, very comfortable, and they look like they're complicated to make, but this is what I always say. If you can watch my video from beginning to end and understand everything I'm saying and doing, then you can make this ring, even if you're a beginner. So, let's do this. Here is the list of materials you will need to make a ring. You will need 4 feet of either 8-pound or 6-pound Fireline. I'm using 8. You will need a size 10 beading needle, 1 14mm Rivoli, 4 disc duos, and you can only buy these from Potomac beads. I'll leave a link for that down there in the description bar. 4 4mm beads, and they can either be fire polished or bicones. 11 seed beads in 1 to 2 colors, and Superduos in 2 colors. Now, if you don't have Rivolis on hand enough to make a ring and a pendant, I recommend to go to auroracrystals.com and buy a Rivolis, because you can get a 4-pack and you'll have enough to make a pendant, a ring, and the matching earrings, which I will be showing you how to do in my next video. So it works out really great, and plus they're great on the prices. It's a real Swarovski crystal, and they have gorgeous colors. Just make sure that you get the 14mm size, because I think that the other sizes they carry, they don't have in 4-packs. So I think that I bought some 18mm, and they only sell them in 2-packs. So pay attention to that you get the right size and that they are 4-pack. Okay, so this is the list of materials you will need, and remember, I always put the list down there in the description bar so you could see everything. So I went ahead and I threaded my needle, and now the next thing I have to do is to make the base for my Rivoli to sit on. So I'm going to go ahead and use the disc duos. So I'm just going to pick up a disc duo, a seed bead, disc duo, seed bead, disc duo, a seed bead, and a disc duo, and 1 more seed bead. So now I have 4 of each bead, and this is what it looks like, okay? I'm going to slide all of these beads down, okay, to about the middle of my thread. Now, I've made so many of these rings and earrings, and I've found that this part here, when we're making the base, the best thing to do is to take our tail and measure, not the tail that has a needle on it, but the end tail. Take the tail and measure on a ruler 6 inches, okay, so right here is my 6-inch mark. And then what I like to do is I like to mark the 6-inch mark with a marker, because I have found that if I don't have it exactly 6 inches and it's too short, I won't have enough tail to tie knots, and if I have too much tail at the end, then I won't have enough to work on my ring if I want a larger ring band. So doing this just helps with a lot. So I just have a paper here, and I'm just marking this right here, the 6-inch mark on my thread, so you could see the black there on my thread. And you can roll over and do the other side, because I have noticed that one side will get colored and the other side won't. Okay, so once that's marked, then we can slide our beads down. Okay, so I'm going to finish sliding these down to the permanent marker, just like that. There you can see the permanent marker marks. Now I'm going to hold it like this, okay, all 8 of my beads, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to run my needle through all of these here, okay, through all 8 of these. Make sure you're not missing any, and I'm going to pull my needle through. Go ahead and pull it through. I was just stuck in my pliers over there. Okay. So you could see right there's my black marker. I just want to keep this bead right here at that marker mark. Okay. And pull this. Doesn't have to be really tight, but as long as it's closed like this, okay? Now I'm just gonna pull both of these, okay? And now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to tie my knots right here. And I'm going to tie a surgeon's knot. So I'm gonna go over and under one time and pull it down. Okay? Then I'm gonna go over and under 2 times and pull the knot down. And then I just like to do it again. I go over and under, pull it down, and over and under twice, and pull it down. And if you want, you can do it one more time, over and under. Okay, and pull that last one tight. Okay, now, I've made so many of these earrings and rings, starting the base set like this. I don't like going back and weaving the tail in because it gets really tight in the back of the Rivoli. So I found it best to do the tail now and trim it off, and then we just go on with the rest of our needle and we don't have to worry about it. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle onto this tail. You don't have to thread a needle onto it if you don't want to. I have done it without the needle. You can do it without it if you want. You could just pass the thread through the next bead, just like that. Pull it through. Like I said, you can thread it on a needle if you want. And take the end of your thread, pass it through this hole here, make a loop, and go through the loop twice, tying a 1/2 inch knot, and pull this knot down right here. Make sure it falls right there between those beads, okay? And then what I do is I just take the end of this and I go through the next bead, just like that, and I tie another 1/2 inch knot here. And I actually go all the way around. I tie a knot between every bead. I come all the way back around. I pass my thread through this bead. I'll put it on a needle if I have to, and I'll just pass through these 2 beads here, and then I'll trim my thread right here. So just tie as many knots as you can in this, because this is a very important part right here. This is going to be tight, and we're going to have a lot of tension on this, and we don't need threads to break, and that's why I went through this twice. So it's very important that you go through this several times and tie the knots. So go ahead and do that, and trim your tail, and I'll be back with you to show you what to do next. I went ahead and I tied all the knots between every bead, and you would think that you would be able to see the knots, but you can't see the knots, so that's pretty awesome. So anyways, I have my tail here coming out of this knot, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go through this disc duo, but in the other hole, so the hole that's right here, okay? So I'm going to pass through there, pull my thread through, just like that. That's how it should look. And now I'm going to pick up 3 11/0 seed beads. Okay, so pick up 3 of them. Exiting out of this disc duo, I'm going to go into the next one in the outer hole and pull that through. Okay, so now I have that. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to go all the way around. I'm going to do all 4 sides. Picking up 3, going through this hole, pulling it through, just like that. Turning it, picking up 3, going through the next hole, and pulling it through. Pick up 3 again, and go through the next hole, just like this. Pull that through, and I like to put my fingers on it so I don't rip out of my hand. Okay. Now, if you pull this too tight, it will cup. Okay, like that, and we don't actually want it to cup. We don't. So what I do is I just put it between my thumb and my index finger, and I just pull it snug. I don't want it to cup. I actually want it to lay flat. It'll cup by itself when we get to that point. So I actually found that it's best to make this loose, so it's fine just like this, and you can actually see the thread. That's no big deal because the Superduos are going to cover that up. Okay, So now I'm going to pick up my Superduos, and you can do any color pattern you want on this. If you look here in this ring, I did all purple on the bottom and I did gold on the top. Now for the corners, I did the gold right here. So I would pick up like 2 of these, 1 of these, and then 2 of those, and that's how I got the gold in the corner. If you want it like that. There's so many different ways to do this. But for this pattern, I think I'm going to do the magic blue, and this one here, I forgot what that color is called. The magic blue and this one. And the reason why I'm doing that is because, well, magic blue again, is because I want this bead to nestle in between the light 2 blue ones here, and I did try this with the magic blue, and I wasn't too happy with it because this here was blending, and I could not see that bead in there. It looked like it didn't exist. So the 2 light blues is going to make that pop. Okay, so I'm picking up 5 Superduos, and again, this is my color pattern. I'm exiting out of this bead right here, so I'm going to turn this, and I'm going to go through this disc duo, the next one. Okay, pull this through, just like that, and now you can see my pattern. Okay, now I'm going to repeat the same thing. I got a magic blue, this one here, magic blue, this one, and this one. A total of 5. Now I'm exiting out here. I'm going to go through the next disc duo. Hold it between your fingers and pull tight. And this is what you should have. Again, I'm going to be repeating this pattern and going through here. When you pull this tight, make sure that none of the disc duos are flipping in, because sometimes you will have one that will flip in like that, and you're pulling it tight, but it won't flip back. You have to actually make it flip by itself, because if you don't do that and you go continue on with this, you'll have a lot of loose thread in here. So make sure that all your Superduos are flipped out. Okay, now I'm going to pick up the last bit here. My 5 Superduos. Okay, just like that. And I'm exiting out of this disc duo. I'm going to go through this one right here. Just like that. I'll turn this and pull it through. Now pull this tight. Okay? Now, it's best to hold this between your fingers when you go to pull your thread through so it doesn't loosen up, because this is a repeating issue that will happen over and over. So I'm going to take my needle, I'm exiting out of this disc duo, and I need to go into this Superduo right through this one. Right there, okay? So as you're pulling this through, hold it between your fingers so it doesn't loosen up. Okay? So it should look like this. And now I'm going to step up so I can add some more beads. So I'm going to go back through the same Superduo, but I'm going to go in the opposite hole. So I'm going to go through this hole here. So again, put your fingers on this like this and hold it tight and gently pull that through so it doesn't loosen up. Okay? So now we have this. Now if this does loosen up in here, if you do have exposed threads around your Superduos, all you have to do is take your needle and pull the thread right here, the loop on this, pull that tight, and then gently pull this back out, and you should have the problem fixed. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 1 Superduo and I'm going to put it right here. And what we're making is like a bezel, prongs I would say, that's going to hold our Rivoli. Now in the pendant I actually had 4 prongs, but with the ring I found it, because, well, the ring and the earring, I found it best to do 4 prongs. So I'm going to have a prong here, 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 that's 4, and this one here, and this one, and this one, and this one, I will also flip those up, and those will be prongs too. So I'm going to put this Superduo right here. So again, get your needle into that hole, and then hold it between your fingers so it doesn't loosen up, and carefully bring that through. Careful that you don't have any loose thread, and I don't, so we're able to continue on. Now the next thing to do is to pick up one seed bead, and I'm going to put it right here. Okay, and again, you want to hold this between your fingers because it will loosen up. That's the one I'm going through. And it's just a few rows we have to get past, and then we won't have to worry about it loosening up. Okay, so now I'm coming out here, and you can see I have this magic blue Superduo here, and I want this one to stand up because that's going to be a prong, and I'm going to put a 4mm bead right here in this spot. So I'm going to pick up a 4mm, and I'm going to put it right here. Okay, and I'm going to pull it tight. Tension is very important on this. There's some spots that have to be loose, and then there's some spots that have to be tight. Okay, so I just did that. Now I'm going to put another seed bead right here to match this side. So picking up one seed bead, I'm going to pass through the next Superduo, pull it tight, and now I'm ready to add another one right here. Okay, and pass through here. The next one, and pull it tight, just like that. Now I'm going to pick up one seed bead, and I'm going to put it right here. Pull it tight. Now I'm going to pick up another 4mm, and it's going to sit right here. So I need this Superduo to stand up. Okay, make sure that this one is standing up in the same direction as this one, because if it's poking out the back, we'll have problems and we'll have to take it apart and stand it back up so they're all pointing in the same direction. Okay, pull that through, pull it tight, and this is what we have so far. Now I'm going to pick up another seed bead, and I'm going to go through this Superduo. I'm going to pick up another Superduo, and I'm going to go right here with it. I'm going to put it between these two. Pull this tight, because as you could see there was thread showing up there. We don't need any thread showing. Okay, so this is what I have so far. These are my prongs. Turning this around. I'm now going to pick up another seed bead and put it right here. I'm going to pick up my corner bead and put it right here. And I need to make sure that this is standing up in the same direction as my other ones. Okay, and it is. Now I'm going to get a seed bead and go through the next duo. My last Superduo for this section right here. And pull it through. I'm going to stop and pull all of this tight, and then I'm going to continue on. So right here I am, and I need to pick up a seed bead. So I'm picking up a bead, and I'm going to go through here. Okay, now I'm at the corner. I already have 3 4mm beads on, and now I have to pick up my last one. Right here, I'm going to go through this Superduo, make sure this one is standing up so it matches the rest. Now I'm going to pick up a seed bead, and I'm going to pass through this Superduo right here, and if I can, I'll go through the next, but sometimes it's a little hard. Okay, I did it. So I went through this Superduo and through the middle one, the prong one here, okay? So I'm just going to pull this through. Just like that, and pull this tight. Okay, so what I'm going to do is lay this down, and I need to push this down because this needs to be indented right here, and I'll zoom in on this and show you what's going on. I have my 8 prongs, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and they're all standing up, and I just push the center down, and I pull this thread tight. Now what I'm going to do is take my needle, and I'm exiting out of this Superduo. I'm going to go through the same Superduo, but in the opposite hole. So I'm going to go in this direction. My tail's coming out there, I'm just going around. Like a little U-turn. Okay, pulling that through. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my beads here to go around the top. So I'm going to zoom out. Okay, and I'm just going to do my last color of Superduos and the seed beads around the top, and then when I get to a certain point I'll be able to stick this in. Okay, so I think I will zoom in closer so you could see what I'm doing. So I'm exiting out of this Superduo right there. I'm going to leave this sitting on my mat. I'm going to pick up one seed bead, Superduo, one seed bead, and I'm going to go through my next prong. So I'm exiting out here and I'm going through my next Superduo prong, and I'm pulling this through. Okay, and I'm just turning this as I'm pulling it, and I like to turn it in the direction that I'm able to pull my thread out. Okay, now I'm going to do another seed bead, Superduo, seed bead, exiting out of this one, I'm going into the next one. Pull this through, turn this. Okay. This doesn't have to be incredibly tight every time we add beads, because once we go around, all the way around, then we're going to cinch it up. Okay, so I'm picking up another seed bead, a Superduo, another seed bead, exiting out here, I'm going to go in the next hole and pull this through. Okay, another seed bead, Superduo, seed bead, in through the next prong, which is this one. Okay, another seed bead, duo, seed bead, into the next one, pull it through. Okay, so now you can see the beads we're adding here. I like to have them flipped out so I could put my Rivoli in. Seed bead, Superduo, seed bead, through the next one right here. I'm exiting out of this one, going into that one, pull it through. Another seed bead, Superduo, and a seed bead in through this one. Pull that. Now I'm going to pick up a seed bead, my last Superduo for the top, and a seed bead, and I'm going to pass, I'll pick this up so you could see, turn it around so you can check out my work and see what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm exiting out of this one right here. I just picked up a seed bead, a Superduo, and a seed bead, and I'm going to go in through the Superduo that I came out of when I first started doing the bezel for the top. And I'm also going to go through the next seed bead and through the next Superduo. So I'm going through these three beads right here, and I'm pulling the needle through and pulling it tight. So now I have what looks like this, and I just like to flip all of these Superduos out so I could put my Rivoli in. Okay, so now I'm going to drop my Rivoli in the center, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to pull this thread here tight, and this part is a little tricky, trying to get the tension right on this, because you could see pulling it tight, it goes perfectly around a Rivoli, loosening it up, it's too big. So I'm going to take my needle, I'm exiting out of this Superduo right here, I'm going to go into the same Superduo but in the opposite hole, going in this direction, pull it through, but don't pull it through all the way because we have to tighten it up. Okay, so I'm just pulling it through like this, and I'm leaving a loop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this Superduo with my nails like that, pulling the thread tight. Okay, and then I'm going to pull my working tail out just to make this tight. Okay, now pull this tight. Okay, I'm just going to flip these out just like that, and this is what we have, and it looks tight. Okay, I'm exiting out of this Superduo right here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put seed beads in here, and this is going to be cinched closed. Now to figure out which amount of seed beads goes in which gap, this is how I do it. See how this is a square shape, okay? And I have these corners. Now on the sides, I pick up 2 seed beads and I go through the next Superduo. When I get to a corner, I pick up 1 seed bead and I go through a Superduo. At the side again, I pick up 2, at a corner, 1, side 2, corner 1, side 2, corner 1. That's how I do it. So right now I'm exiting out of here. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads because I'm on the side. I need this square look here on the top. So I'm coming out here and I'm going to go into the next Superduo. Gently pull this through so it doesn't loosen up on me. Okay. Now I'm going to pull this tight because this is my last chance to get this tight. Okay, just like that. Now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead here for the corner. Go in right there. Okay. Don't pull it too tight because this will fall out. I'm going to pick up 2 seed beads now because I'm here on the side of my square. So picking up 2, going through there. The next Superduo. Turning it like that. I'm at the corner, so that means I need 1 seed bead, and some of these seed beads here are screwy, so I have to pay attention to that. I'm at the corner, so that means I need 1 seed bead, going through here, just like that. I'm at the side, so I need 2, going through this one. Oops. Just like that, turning it again, picking up 1 seed bead and going through the next Superduo right here in my corner. I'm back at the side over here, so I have to do 2. Pulling that through. Just like that. Now I'm at the corner. And this is the last spot I have to fill in. And I'm going to go through the Superduo here. Pull this through. Okay, I'm just going to stop here and let you take a gander of what we got. Here's the sides. That's the top. There's our bottom. Now I have to reinforce this. So, if you look closely, you could see this Superduo right here that has this thread. Now, if you look at all the other ones, none of them have that except for this one. So, our thread is coming out of this Superduo. So, this is actually marking where we started. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way back around and reinforce this whole top and come back out this Superduo. So, I'm just going to go through. Oh, and you don't have to pull this tight until we go through the beginning Superduo. Okay, so I'm just going to pass through the 2 seed beads, Superduo, seed bead, Superduo, pull that through, go through 2 seed beads, Superduo, seed bead, Superduo, just like that. Just going all the way around here, reinforcing this, going back to the one we started at. Okay, almost there. I have to go through these 2, Superduo, seed bead, and right here is the one I started at. You can see the thread right there, okay? Now I'm going to pull this through, and I'm going to pull this tight. And there we go, we just reinforced the top, and this is what we have so far. Now what I'm going to do is tighten this up one more time. And I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to pass through the same Superduo but in this hole, not back through that one. I'm going to go through this one here, And I'm also going to go through the seed bead beside it and through this corner Superduo. So through this one, and that one. Just like that. Pass through there. Pull it through. Pull it tight. Now I'm going to take my needle and I need to go through the same Superduo but in the bottom hole. And that is a little tricky. So what I do is I take my needle and I go in at an angle. And I find that hole, and I like to flip it over, and I go through this Superduo here, so you could see there's a little shine of silver right there, so I could tell that I got through the bottom hole of this Superduo, and I'm coming out this one here. Okay, so pass through there, pull that through. You don't have to pull it really tight. Then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go through the same Superduo, but in this hole, and then I'm going to come out here. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm reinforcing the outer edge of this to make it really durable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way around and I'm going to come back out over here. Okay, so I just made it through this one, 4mm bead. I'm going to go through this Superduo here, this seed bead, pull that through. And I'm just going to sew through the very outer edge beads just to make this stronger. Okay. Now sometimes you can go through 2 beads at a time, sometimes you have to go through 1. So I just made it through those 2. Pull that through. I'm going to go through these ones here. Let's see if I can do all 3. No, I can't. It's too tight. Okay, so I'm going through those 2. My thread got caught. So I'll just fix that. And again, how we tell where we left off at is those threads on that one Superduo. So where's it at? Looking around here. I don't see it on the camera. Right here it is. Right there. So that's the beginning. So I'm going in this direction. So that's how I know where I have to stop. So I'm just going to go around this whole thing and reinforce the outside beads. And again, you don't have to pull this tight because it's already tight enough. We're just making a second passing. Just want to tie a knot of me there, so I'll just fix that. Go through these ones here. My thread's over here, so I still have to go around, about halfway around now. Go through these. Always find this part on the side, it's best to go through 2 of them at a time, but you have to go in from the bottom. Okay, then through this one, and the seed bead. These here, and I'm almost there. These 2 here. Through these 2 here. Again, go in at an angle to the bottom and wiggle your way through. Now I'm going through this one and through that little pink seed bead. Okay, so here's my thread and I'm back at the top. Now I'm just going to go through this Superduo here. I'm not going to go through the 4mm, just the Superduo. Okay, just like that. Then I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to pass through this Superduo and through this one. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get into this disc duo so I can add my ring band. Okay, so I'm just going to wiggle. It takes a lot of wiggling right here. So there's my needle. You could see it coming out. Just going to push that through. There we go. Okay, and now I'm going to go into the disc duo. Just like that. Now, there are two different ways to wear this motif as a ring. I like to wear it in a square shape like this, but if you want, you can wear it this way because that's how the earrings are going to be, and that's kind of how the pendant is. It's that shape. But I found that it's really awkward for a ring to be like this because this here is constantly bumping this finger and bumping that finger, and plus it's catching onto things when I'm shopping and stuff, and it's kind of annoying. So I really like it this way. So if you want it the square way, you're going to start your ring band off of the disc duos. But if you want it to have it as the diamond way to match the earring and the pendant, then what you're going to do is after coming out of this disc duo, you're going to pick up these 3 seed beads right here. They're tucked down in there. But you can go ahead and lift those up right there, and you can make your ring band off of this. But I don't like that diamond shaped, so I'm just going to push those back down, and I'm going to make my ring band off of the disc duo because that's how I like it. I like it to be a square shape. So this here is the ring band that I'm going to do, and I actually did this weave a while back. It was a bracelet / anklet video, and you can also do it for a beaded strap for a pendant if you wanted to. If you want to see that video, I will leave a link down there, and if you don't see it, just remind me and I'll do it. In that video I showed how to make this weave with I think 2 needles, but in this video I'm going to do the weave with 1 needle, and there's a lot of designs that I've come up like that, where I could do 1 needle or 2 needles for the same design, but sometimes I find that it's best to do 2 needles for it because I'll have perfect tension throughout the piece and the beads will fit together better than with just 1 needle. Okay, so to do this weave, I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, 1 Superduo, and 3 seed beads. Now I'm going to slide them down, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to pass through this same Superduo but in the opposite hole, just like this, and I'll have this here. Okay, so I just grab the seed bead in the center and I pull it, and I pull my working tail, and I can bring this down. Now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, okay, and I'm going to take my needle and pass through this disc duo right here, okay, going in this direction. So just like that. Okay, passing through there. Again, I need to get the tension right on this, so I'll grab that 1 seed bead in the middle, and I'll pull this working tail, and I'll end up with that. Now I'm going to take this needle, and I need to go back through this again. So I'm going to lay this flat like that, and I'm going to take the needle and go through the seed bead, the Superduo, and through the seed bead. Just like that, and pull it. Now I'm going to pull this tight, and I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go through this center one here, and then I'm going to continue on adding more beads. Okay, so this time I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, my Superduo, and I'm going to do my second color, and 3 seed beads. Okay, I'm going to slide all of these down. I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go back through this Superduo but in the opposite hole. So it looks like this. And then I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead and I'm going to pass back through this one here. But I'm not going to go this way, I'm going to go this way in the opposite direction. Okay, and then I'm going to pull this through. And again, I'm going to grab this center bead and pull it, and pull my working tail at the same time, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to take my needle, pass through this seed bead, the Superduo, and through the seed bead, just like that, and pull this tight, and this is what I have. Now I'm going to pass through the center bead again and continue my weave. So now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, my next color, 3 seed beads, oops, I got 4 that time, just like that. Slide these down, go through this Superduo, and it is best if you can grab onto it and hold it between your fingers, just like that. Pick up 1 seed bead, and I'm going to go through this center one again right here, okay? Now since I have this tidied up, I will be able to go through all of those like that. So I'm going through the middle one, I'm going through the seed bead there, the Superduo, and through the one on the side, okay? And then I'm pulling it like that, okay? Make sure it's tight, and then continue on by passing through the center seed bead so you can add more beads now. So now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, my next Superduo color, and 3 seed beads, okay? And I'm going to slide all of these down. Again, I'm going to hold this Superduo between my fingers and pass through the other hole, just like that, and pull it down. Now I have what looks like this. Now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, and right now I'm coming out this side, so I need to go through this bead in this direction, okay? And while I'm doing that, I'll flip this over, I'm also going to go through the other seed bead, and through the Superduo, and through this seed bead. So through the middle one, and through these 3. And as you're working on this, you're going to be constantly flipping this over and over and over, stitching up the weave. Okay, so now I have what looks like this. It's very cute. And you can have it just like this if you want to. A ring band just like that. You don't have to add the seed beads on the side if you want this to be a more narrow ring band. Okay, so now I'm exiting out the side bead here, and in order to pick up more beads I have to be exiting out the middle one. So I'm going to go through that one, just like that. Now I'm going to continue on. I'm going to pick up a seed bead, my next color, which is this one, and 3 more seed beads. Okay, and I'm going to slide those down, hold the Superduo between my fingers, and go through it like that. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, and right now I'm exiting out on this side, so I'm going to take and turn this. I'm going to go through this middle one, and I'm also going to go through the ones here on the side, up the side, so through the middle one, and then through those 3 beads, pull through, pull it tight, and we have what looks like this. Now I'm going to go through the middle one again so I can add more beads. Now if you totally understand the stitch, then you can fast forward to the next part, but I'm just going to go on a few more beads to make sure everybody can understand this, even the beginners. Okay, so I'm going to pick up 1 bead again, my next color Superduo, which is this one, and 3 seed beads. Slide these down. I'm going to pass through this Superduo here, hold it between the fingers, and we have this. Okay, now I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, and I'm going to go through the middle one right here, and I'll flip this over. I'm going to go through the middle one and then through these 3 beads here on the side. I'm going to pull my needle through, pull it tight, and now we have this. Now I'm going to go through this bead here, and I think I'll just do this one more time. Okay, so exiting out the middle bead, I pick up 1 more seed bead, my next color, and 3 more seed beads. Just like that. Bring it down. This is a really fun weave. It's kind of like the daisy chain or something. I really love it. Okay, now I'm going to take my needle, pass through this seed bead or Superduo. So I'm going to hold that between my fingers and pull my thread through. Now I have this. Now I'm going to pick up one seed bead, and I'm going to pass through this middle one here. And again, I'm going to flip this to the side so I can go through these easier. Then I'm going to go through these three. So through the middle one and through those three in the side, and pull your needle through. Pull it tight, and now we have this. I'm going to take my needle, pass through the middle bead here, and then I would continue on doing some more Superduos and seed beads. Now when you have one Superduo left that you have to put on, you put this around your finger and you make sure it fits you just right, and you see that you need just one more. This is what you want to do. You want to be exiting out of the center seed bead, just like this. You want to pick up one seed bead, the last Superduo, and one seed bead. Slide that down, and I'm going to lay it like this. So this here is flat, so this is coming out this side of my bead over here. Now I have to connect it to my other side here of my motif. So I'm going to take my needle and go through this side because it's coming out here. So I'm going to take and go through the bead right here. And it might be a little hard to do this. You might have to move the Superduos over some with your nails to get in there. And you might accidentally, if your Superduos aren't recessed in, you might accidentally go through this seed bead. So if you can find something, maybe the end of a plier, or if you have long nails like me, you can press the seed beads down so they're recessed into this and they're laying against the Rivoli. Okay, so once you get through the disc duo, next thing to do, make sure this isn't twisted. Next thing to do is to pick up one seed bead, just like that, and there's another screwy looking one. Okay, just one, and I'm gonna pass through this Superduo, the other hole, just like that. So pull it down, pull it tight. I'm gonna pick up another Superduo, just one, and I'm gonna go through this seed bead right here. Okay, through the middle one. Pull that through. Now we have this. I'm going to turn this. Pull this tight. As tight as you can get it. Now what I have to do is take my needle and pass through these three beads. But in order to do that, I might have to lay the ring band down like this so I could sew through it. Okay. Then I'm going to go back through the disc duo again. Going back through there, pulling that through. Then again, I'm going to lay this ring band down, and I'm going to sew through just the one seed bead right here. Just this one, okay? Because we're going to add some embellishment to this, some more seed beads. Okay, so now I'm exiting right here, and now I'm just ready to fill in the sides and make it look more decorative. Now if you want, you can leave the ring band like this. You don't have to put the seed beads on the sides, but it does make it look more decorative. So in this one here, I just have one seed bead in the center. In this one, I did two. I did a purple, bronze, purple. This one I just did one in the middle like I did in this one here. So you could do it any way you want. For this one, I'm going to do a pink, this iris blue, and a pink. Okay, so I'm exiting out here. This is really easy. I'm going to take the needle and go through these two seed beads right there, and there you go. You just got your embellishment. So again, I'm going to pick up a seed bead, a pink one, iris blue, and a pink one. I'm exiting out here, and now I'm going to go through these two on the side. So through this one, and through the next one, and pull through. Do it again. 3 seed beads in the color pattern you like. Exiting out here, I'm going to go through these two. It's very easy, and I'm just going to continue this. Very simple. 3 seed beads. Xing out there, I'm going to go through the next one. Pull it tight. 3 seed beads again. And through the next one. Okay, so it's very simple. Just keep doing this until you get all the way down here, and I'll show you what to do next. Picking up 3 seed beads at a time and going through these two, picking up 3 again and going through those two. Just keep going until you get over here, and I'll show you what to do next. So I'm now back over here, and I just picked up my last 3 seed beads, and I went through that 1 seed bead there, and I'm putting them in, and I'm pulling this tight. Okay, I want to make sure you don't have any loose thread. Now once you do that, you're going to lay this down, and you're going to pass back through this disc duo. And we're going to go up the other side then, and do that side. Okay, so there I am. The seed beads were coming up, but I pushed them down with my nail. And pull this through. Make sure you don't catch on to anything. Okay, just like that. Now I'm over here. Now I have to go through this 1 seed bead, and I'll have to lay it down again in this direction. Go through the 1 seed bead. Okay, and then I just continue on with what I was doing earlier. 3 seed beads at a time, picking them up, going through these two right here, pulling it tight, picking up 3 again, and going through these two right here. Okay, so it's very simple. You're just going to repeat this all the way over to the other side, and I'll show you what to do after that. Picking up 3, going through those 2 right there. Okay, so just keep repeating this weave until you get over here, and I'll show you what to do next. So I just picked up my last 3 seed beads, and I'm going through the seed bead right here next to my disc duo. Pulling that tight. Okay, and now I have my whole ring band filled in. Now what I'm going to do is take my needle, and I'm going to go through this disc duo again. One more time. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is come back through these pink seed beads, and I'm going to tie my knots in them. I don't want to go back and tie knots in the top of the ring. It'll be too much trouble. So I'm just going to sew back through these ones here. And I do like to get past this section here before I start tying knots, because it's a little hard to tie knots in this area. Through these two here. Then through these two. Okay, now I'm right here and I'm going to start tying knots. So I just take my needle, half-inch knots. I just take my needle and I go through this loop right here of seed beads. Okay. I make a loop with my thread, and I go through it twice, and I have to pay attention to where my knot falls. So I want my knot to fall right where my thread exited, so I have to get it to come down to here. Okay, right there's where I want my knot to fall. And if it looks like you're going to have the thread exposed, you could put your needle in that knot and straighten it up and then pull it down. Okay, then I just sew through 2 seed beads like that, pull the knot into those beads, and then I tie another knot right here, another half hitch knot. Make a loop, go through it twice, and pull it down. And then I sew through some more beads. Okay, I don't tie the knots in between here because it's a little tight. I always tie the knots right here where we did the decorative edging. Okay, so when you get past that point right here, you could tie more knots. So I just take my thread and I try to use up as much of the thread I can, and I tie the knots here on the edges of the ring, and if I still have enough left over, I'll go back through that disc duo and I'll just go up the side here, not tying knots, but just using up my thread and trying to fill in the sides here. So keep going, tying knots, and you'll have a gorgeous, alluring ring. Very gorgeous. This is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry you've made from my videos on my Facebook page, and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.